Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to explain why Kaspa on Rust is significant and what exactly does this mean for Kaspa. To begin, let's start with the basics. And traditionally, cryptocurrencies, when they are created with lines of code, and this code is generally available to the public to be able to verify and make sure that everything that's going on within the cryptocurrency network is legit and sound. And what I'm showing you right here is the GitHub for Kaspa so that you can go and see the actual code of Kaspa. All of these codes for different cryptocurrency projects are written on coding languages. So there are things like Go, Python, C++, Rust, and so on. And currently, Kaspa, the network that is being ran right now for the mainnet and where we are holding our Kaspa coins, is on the coding language known as Golang. And what Kaspa is doing is that it's going to be transitioning to a brand new coding language that is running on Rust. Now, this does not require a hard fork because the Rust coding language is backwards compatible with the Golang coding language. So these two coding languages can communicate with each other, and it doesn't matter if someone is running a Rust node right now or if someone is running a Golang node right now. And you can see that currently we are trying to transition to Rust, and so far almost 15% of all the nodes are running the Rust coding language on their node. And the goal is to get almost 100% of all nodes running Rust so that then we can prepare for a hard fork, because changing the coding language is not necessarily a hard fork, but changing the blocks per second is a hard fork, because this is changing the rules of how blocks are created. Instead of 1, it's going to be 10. So this is necessary to be done, but we first want to make sure everyone can get on to Rust first. So why are we moving to Rust? And this is an old article written by Bubblegum Lightning, but Kaspa on Rust improving performance, and basically explains how Kaspa is currently on the Golang programming language, but Rusty Kaspa will benefit the blockchain by making it more efficient, operations with tighter performance, and is less prone to memory-related errors. In addition, the new codebase will boast improved performance and more network security. Rust also has a growing ecosystem and developer community, which could make it easier for developers to contribute to build on simplified and modularized Kaspa. Using Rust for Kaspa platform may also improve its scalability. For example, Rust ownership model and low-level control over memory management can make writing concurrent and parallel code easier, which can help the platform handle more transactions and users without slowing down. Pushing speeds of up to 32 blocks per second and 6,400 transactions per second, potentially upwards to 20,000 transactions per second. Rust also has a built-in error handling and can also make the code more robust and less prone to bugs. If you don't remember, I made this video talking about the successor to KDX, which is known as KNG, and what this is running on is Rust already, and you can actually see KNG and test it out for yourself. So what you are seeing here is the visualizer for 10 blocks per second, because Kaspa KNG allows you to run testnet 11, which is running 10 blocks per second. And this has been running for a few months now to ensure that we do have a smooth transition and we clean any bugs that are existing. But in the settings, you can always switch over to the mainnet and you can literally see the difference of the block DAG visualizer of how much slower 1 block per second is compared to the 10 blocks per second that you were just viewing. But this is all done on Rust, the coding language Rust. And this also means that when you are running a node, it is much quicker to sync up to the network. I personally run KNG from now on because the KDX node is just kind of old now, and it actually takes more storage as well. But currently I run KNG, and it syncs up so much faster than KDX. So just moving to Rust is just going to be a lot more efficient. It's going to help with adoption because we'll be using this new desktop application that's going to just fix all the issues that people have on KDX with the slowness and it just not connecting or syncing up. Also, you're not forced to sync up to the node if you don't want to. You can just use a public node with KNG and you'll be able to do that on a desktop application. So there's just a lot of things coming that are being built on Rust, and we are abandoning the Golang coding language. So Coder Stuff gives some more information here. He says the new Rusty Kaspa node includes several improvements over the old Golang node, but as a node operator, does it make sense to switch to the new node when you already have one running stable? Yes. Let me convince you with 3 operational reasons why you should be interested. The first reason is the Rust CAS node uses significantly less CPU and RAM. Sample CPU load average on the new node looks like 0.5, 0.04, 0.00, while on the old node it'd be like 1.54, 1.53, and 1.40. You use less resources without losing functionality. In fact, you gain more with the new node. Reason number 2, the Rust CAS node uses near constant storage. While storage use still grows over time, that growth rate is significantly less per day, megabytes per day in Rust node, gigabytes per day in Go node, because pruning is more efficient. You worry less about the storage requirements. Reason 3, related to reason 2, because the pruning is less efficient in the Go node, the block template doesn't get updated when it is pruning. This means at this time, your miners may be mining red blocks, which aren't rewarded. Rust CAS node fixes this, and that's actually pretty significant. The Rust node will allow miners to ensure they are mining acceptable blocks and that they're not mining false blocks or red blocks, which therefore they don't get rewarded for. So Rust is just all around much more efficient. It makes no sense to stay behind because you are just simply missing out on the benefits of running Rust. And lastly, it says, as a node operator, by using the Rust CAS, you save on resources and you don't lose out on rewards. So any pool operator would be smart to be switching over to Rust so that you are collecting all the rewards possible while you're running your pool for miners to connect to. Shai also says here, Rusty CAS is not just about BPS. It is about rebuilding everything from the ground up better. And this is literally what's happening with Rust. A lot of people are complaining because of how long it's taking, but people don't realize that Kaspa was built fully on Golang, and they decided that Golang was not a good programming language to move forward to the future for Kaspa. So they decided to fully rebuild Kaspa from the ground up, basically using a brand new coding language and making sure it's backwards compatible with Golang while we're having this transition phase and everything. So there's a lot of work that's been going into this, and this is why it's been taking so long. But we're already at the open beta stage for Rust now, and now we're just waiting for everyone to transfer over. And you could see in Kaspalytics how close we are to getting everyone to transfer over. Another thing to point out is that Solana actually uses Rust for their programming language to build on the Solana blockchain. And Solana is the 5th most valuable cryptocurrency based on market cap. And it's just interesting to point out here that Solana, even though it's built on Rust and is the 5th most valuable cryptocurrency based on market cap, it suffers from a lot of outages. There's a famous outage back in February this year that for 4 hours, basically nothing was able to go through. You can go back to 2022 when the bull market started picking up again. They were having outages like daily of over 10 hours of just things going on where transactions were not going through. And literally just this past week, Solana had an outage again, and it said Solana network is experiencing an outage currently. It has led to a congestion in processing on-chain transactions with over 75% of them failing. And then it says this person revealed the actual reason behind the congestion and stated that developers are working diligently to resolve the issue. And this is the thing with these other cryptocurrency projects is that, yeah, they're faster and they're able to handle more transactions, but really, are they really able to handle more transactions when you have 75% of them failing? Because if they have any little bit of major adoption come in to them, they just start to simply not be able to handle the amount of adoption coming into them. And this is why I can care less of how long it takes Kaspa to be built on Rust, because Kaspa is making sure that our base layer is built on a foundation that is solid, and not like these other cryptocurrency projects that are built on foundations of sand, and they're simply just done really quickly just so that they can get a lot of money funneled into these projects, because a lot of VCs and private investors get to invest in them before the public does. And then they don't even really care about their base layer. It can't even handle transactions. And then you got people switching back over to Ethereum, which has horrible fees. And Kaspa will solve all of these issues once Rust gets kicked in, and then we bring in smart contracts built on this wonderful foundation that Kaspa is being built on currently. So this will create Kaspa to be a really, really great competitor to these other projects like Solana and Ethereum in the future. So Kaspa on Rust is a very significant change, and it's coming a lot sooner than we think. We are currently in the transition phase to move over to Rust. Then we'll do a hard fork to do the 10 blocks per second. I expect this all to be completed at least by the end of this year. At the rate that we're going already, it does look pretty promising that we're going to be seeing 10 blocks per second this year. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Before we go, if you have not considered getting a Tangent wallet, please do. It's a great way to secure your funds off exchanges and keep your funds completely offline so that no one can steal them, because you are no longer holding them on an exchange where you do not control the keys. Tangent is offering a Kaspa exclusive wallet limited edition that you can pick up. And if you use my code Kaspa Silver at the checkout, you'll get 10% off of this. There's still 927 left. The link will be down below so you can check that out. I do appreciate if you use my code, because I do receive a commission and it helps support the channel. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. And as always, don't be average, be different.